So hopefully that gives you a little gist of what the product actually is.
Where did it start? What was the...
We started as three guys in the studio. My two other co-founders who were both running their own businesses, designing websites, doing branding, all that sort of thing. And I ended up working with them. I had a background in product design. That's what I studied at uni. We sort of realised that we all had this really varied skill set. And Jim, my co-founder, he's got a sort of catalogue of crazy ideas which he's been meaning to make for a long time but never got around to it. And seeing as I had a sort of a skill set in product design, 3D printing, that sort of thing, we decided to embark on trying to make some of those ideas. The first one that he showed to me was a large scalable plotter that you can suction cup onto a shop window, and it can draw directly onto the glass and essentially bring that space to life, because it's quite a fairly dead space, at least at night, and in the evenings it's just mannequins doing nothing really. So his idea was to be able to allow people to interact with this plotter, draw information, graphics, tweets, whatever directly onto the window. So that's where we began.
Where did you hone your 3D printing skills?
At university, I think at uni everyone was queuing up for the 3D printers there, and they were these sort of like large £20,000 machines which none of the students were allowed to use without a technician. And I think as a designer I sort of wanted to be in charge of the whole process, from the design itself to the actual making. And it was just at the point where desktop 3D printers were starting to become available. So I basically blew my whole student loan on a MakerBot. And I was sat in my room at uni with my little MakerBot on the desk. And that's where I started to learn the whole process. Sort of realised
that... The cupcake one?
No, the Replicator 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I went straight into the deep end. Yeah, so that's where I sort of, I suppose, cut my teeth with 3D printing and learned a lot through printing everybody else's project at the same time as my own.
So you started giving services?
Basically, yeah. And then through that, I ended up working with Faberdashery, the filament manufacturer. It's basically producing small models that they could give away for free. So models for Christmas. I made a Christmas cracker that printed with the toy inside it at the same time. So it comes off the print bed, you crack it open, and you've got a surprise toy inside. So I was doing all of that sort of
And that
project.
served you in the prototype of the woodpecker?
That taught me all the skills that I needed to get to that point. So that led to sharing a studio with Jim, and the first prototype, as you can see on the screen, was made out of chopsticks and string and an assortment of other crap. So that's where the idea started, looking at how we can make a really light, scalable drawing machine, and looking at the belt system and how that all worked. And then through that, we turned that chopstick model into a 3D printed prototype that didn't work, another 3D printed prototype that worked ever so slightly better. And we sort of slowly iterated on that, and it was just a side project at the time. We didn't really think it would take off until agencies started to pick up on the idea, started to see the value.
As a marketing tool? As
a marketing tool for events, for retail spaces. So we started to then gear towards trying to make it for them. And for a period of time, we were two men driving around London in a van. For events, sticking this crazy machine onto different surfaces and windows.
So what made that leap from an event-based, bigger object to what we saw as the Kickstarter consumer product?
Well, at the time, our customer was the agencies. So we were selling specifically to them, but through doing the events ourselves and watching the general public walk by these shop windows and stop in the rain and stare at the woodpecker for 10 minutes, I think that showed us that our customer was actually the people outside the window rather than the agencies themselves. And we started to realise that there was something in the idea of this pen drawing, like the romanticism of it not being a screen, it being a physical object. And also we were sick of driving around London in a van, so we thought the better route would be to condense all that thinking into a smaller consumer product.
So how did you do that transition? Because you were looking for an environment to do that.
Yeah, so we found out about the Central Research Laboratory from you, I think, and the hardware incubator based out in Hayes, and we saw that as the perfect opportunity to take our small vision of this device into a consumer product, because we didn't really have any experience with that at the time. There was a lot to learn. We were given a place on the program out in Hayes, and they helped us to just think slightly bigger about our idea and turn that into a physical product that could be manufactured. So
throughout this period, were you making all the time, or was there a kind of stop to that?
Yeah, with the woodpecker, I'm still iterating on it today, just 3D printing in the studio. But I think the process of jumping to a mass manufactured product was quite a big step, and I think, like you said, it's really intimidating and quite daunting. To then get in touch with the factory and work out all these strange processes. So we actually ended up working with an external consultancy to help us with the design for manufacture. Because we were so daunted by the experience, we didn't think that it was something that we could do ourselves or learn quick enough to be able to produce it.